Hello strategy gaming enthusiasts, my name is AlzaboHD. In today's EU4 video, we're going to play the Livonian Order and restore this monastic order to their rightful imperial border. The new Lions of the North DLC and corresponding update have made Northern Europe great, and Paradox Interactive has challenged me to transform the minor nation of the Livonian Order into the new formable state of Livonia. This EU4 guide is sponsored by Paradox Interactive, and you can support the channel by Livonian ordering the DLC at PlayUniversalis/AlzaboHD. Without further ado, let's obtain the almost Prussian Blue achievement and get started with our guide. In 1444, the Livonian Order is a minor monastic order that borders Lithuania, Novgorod, and the Teutonic Order. Despite this precarious position, Livonia in the new update is a potent polity with an all-new mission tree that will bend your enemies to their knees. After selecting the Livonian Order and playing in Ironman mode, we'll let one day pass before selecting a talented theologian as heir. We'll set Novgorod as our first rival, build a spy network in both Riga and the Teutonic Order for claims to expand our border, and take a look at the problematic privileges of Livonia's new estates. In history, the Livonian Confederation was a far more decentralized nation, and in-game this is represented by low crown land, 4 bishops, and 5 privileges you'll want to disband as fast as you can. These so-called privileges take away your manpower, your taxes, and even your sailors, and you'll need clergy loyalty to revoke them immediately. Fortunately, our talented theologian heir gave us enough loyalty to revoke a privilege, and we can revoke a second via decision at the cost of 20 devotion and a small serving of zealots. Rout the rebels and seize land to secure crown land. It's time to recruit regiments to build up our army to force limit, which allows us to unlock the Expand the Army mission for Army Tradition. Once our spy networks hit 20, we'll lay a claim on the Teutonic Order, which will unlock a mission that grants us a subjugation CB to vassalize them easy. We'll use our second diplomat to claim Riga, ally Bohemia, and ally any other guy. Using our Rigan claim, we'll declare war for their core, which will drag in the Hanseatic League as co-belligerents. We'll use a spare diplomat to start fabricating on Novgorod, easily occupy the Rigan capital, and use military access to move our soldiers to the enemy's borders. These merchants are all trade and no raid, and are easily occupied. We'll lay claim to coastal Novgorod, and always choose the clergy agendas to increase their loyalty and revoke another 2 privileges after passing the cooldown. This war is a waiting game, and without cannons, it'll take a while, but our main goal is to vassalize Lubeck as a subject state, separate piece the others for ducats, and fully annex the capital of Riga. To our east, Novgorod will come under fire from either Denmark, Muscovy, or both in the early game, and when this occurs, prepare for your second war. That looks fun, but are you winning, son? Novgorod has a tendency of getting sacked by Muscovite Tsars, and when they are, your second early game priority will be to liberate them of their Baltic lands. They'll never see you coming for St. Petersburg, and when you can, declare war and join in on the 3-way fray. It's unlikely for Muscovy or Denmark to take the Baltic coastline in their first war, but just in case, be sure to occupy these provinces as your first priority. First come, first served, and we'll have to wait our turn in line before we can occupy any sloppy seconds. After your neighbors get first draft, move in your soldiers to reoccupy any remaining forts of Novgorod and carpet siege the border core. This war is over, but Riga is now a core, which means that we can protect them in the mission tree. This allows you to free yourself of the last clerical estate, which in turn allows you to unlock the Livonian Confederacy and strengthen your authority. In addition to claims in the Teutonic Order and Lithuania, this mission also allows you to choose the future of your polity and shouldn't be taken lightly. You can either stay as a crusader state and benefit from a crusading mission tree, which grants claims over Russia and an easier path towards the Baltic crusader achievement, or you can opt to secularize into the formable nation of Livonia. For this campaign, we'll opt for the Livonian mission path, clean up what's left of Novgorod, and push for peace. Your top priority will be to take Neva to form out your Baltic coastline, but you could also vassalize Novgorod if you want to feed them back their cores. We already have Lubbock as a subject, and their liberty desire will be dire, so in our campaign, we'll take the two provinces, humiliate their state, and liberate the kulaks of their kopecks. With war and peace, we'll need time to recover from our war exhaustion and manpower depletion, but our third early game focus will be on the Teutonic Order. I'd advise recruiting up to force limit and currying favors to call in allies as TO makes a formidable foe. With our mission tree, we have a subjugation CB, so declare war and let your friends do the fighting so that you can focus on occupying provinces. But your early game navy is far from gravy, so clear boat stacks where you can and hide when you can't. Let the AI say hi to your forts and fly trap them along the frontier. It will take years for them to siege down and allows you to trap the allies of the Teutonic Order. Before long, your core on Neva should clear, allowing you to complete the Takeover Neva mission, which in turn grants you more claims across Eastern Europe. Back on the battlefield, focus on separate piecing the co-belligerents so that you can take their money, pillage their polities, dev up your capital, and knock them out of the war with one click. And speaking of development, you should use estate agendas to develop your home provinces, as once all provinces in the region are 10 development, you'll gain stability and greatly reduced construction costs for all of your buildings. Our ultimate goal is to fully occupy the Teutonic nation and the elimination of their friends, so focus on piecing out any +1s and take their ducats in war reparations. This bucket of ducats can be used to build your fourth and final fort in the Livonian heartland, which will fire a mission that reduces their upkeep by 90% and makes them functionally free. For our final step, we'll vassalize the Teutonic Order, which may cause a continental coalition. With Prussia procured and TO knocked out, it's likely your rivals will be reset, and I'd recommend setting Poland and Muscovy as rivals, as we'll be expanding into their land. Coalitions are coming, so use your diplomats to improve relations to +50 on every coalition country, wipe out any remaining rebels, and save money by mothballing military and forts, and by using government reforms to reduce advisor costs. If you still see coalitions after improving relations, one simple trick is to reload your game. When you log back in, coalitions will often end as the AI recalculates their relations on launch. The fort you built earlier should also be finished, allowing you to complete Fortify Livonia and run your forts at only 10% of normal cost. To our north, Sweden or Denmark make for good allies, otherwise Saxony and Bohemia are your best bet against Poland and Muscovy. Improve relations with both of your vassals, and after 10 years, integrate Lubbock, which will net you the most valuable trade node in Northern Europe. Any spare mana power should be used to develop your Heartlands provinces, as once each has 10 development, you can unlock the Develop Livonia mission, which gives stability and a discount on all buildings in the region. With our domain developed, institutions like the Renaissance will naturally spawn within our borders. You can make this even faster by dev boosting Riga, which you should do regardless to complete the Make Riga Our Capital mission. But if you're behind on time and your rulers are as bad as mine, consider volunteering them as leaders and charging in 2 rebel death stacks. RNGesus might surprise you with great errors like this 555. Our next major goal will be to expand into Poland, but a bad campaign can make this a pain. In my example, Poland is allied to every major power, but we can fabricate a claim on Gotland to pull in Poland alone as a belligerent. Whatever you decide to claim, raise your armies, curry favors with your allies, and get ready to pwn Polska. Partitioning Poland is best done with friends, so call in your allies and declare war. Turn their navies into gravy with your superior fleet, and let Poland and Lithuania siege your forts. As the Switzerland of Scandinavia, our turtle tower defenses will keep the enemy bogged down, and once they splinter off into smaller groups, you should divide and conquer their forces. In this campaign, they outnumber my armies significantly, and if this happens to you, don't be afraid to take loans and hire mercenaries. The soldiers of Poland are second to none, and they might make your forces undone, but even with defeat in battle, we can win this war. Once we've got land, we can ferry our troops back to the Baltics, and with reinforcements, we can crack off a cold one with the boys. In EU4, you should always use your allies and subjects as cannon fodder, and with your friends at the front line, you can save your soldiers by focusing on their forts and capital region. Warsaw is fortless and vulnerable, so we'll waltz in, then focus on their eastern friend. With our unpaid interns and foreign friends fighting for us, we're free to carpet siege Lithuania and prepare for peace. Our claims on Lithuania are crucial and should be taken, but we'll also force Poland to drop its alliance with Sweden to steal their ally for ourselves. Once we've got land and are at peace, we'll force Sweden to join us in an anti-Polish alliance. This of course includes all of their neighbors, as is tradition. With peace in the east, we can now diplomatically annex the Teutonic Order, and we'll select Transfer Subject as our first Splendor ability. It's quite OP, and will allow us to steal Norway as a vassal from Denmark. From your province in Lubeck, claim any county in Denmark, and, when ready, call in your allies and boat into Copenhagen. Sweden makes for a great ally, just be sure to reach the capital before they occupy it for themselves. Unlike with Poland, Denmark is dead on arrival, so stab wipe their friends, convert their co-belligerents into cash, and absolutely ensure that you have the transfer subject ability. We can now score a peace with Norway as our vassal, pillage Copenhagen's development to our capital, and procure the province of Holstein to release as a feedable nation for cores in the future. With so many vassals, you might want to improve relations with them or appease them to lower their liberty desire. If you've developed Riga and built the 3 basic buildings, you can now make it your capital and reduce its development cost modifier via the mission tree. To our east, Muscovy will be the main threat to our early campaign, and it's time to bring them pain. We'll need all the help we can get, so consider taking loans, hiring mercenaries, and consider spending your Handle Poland mission for morale modifiers and declare war on Muscovy with your Nordic ally of choice. General Winter will make quick work of your manpower, so I'd suggest using mercenaries to siege Russia's forts while using smaller regiments of your own troops to carpet siege. The Russian army is arguably the weakest in the world, and if you can overcome their numbers, you'll easily be able to stack wipe them with your superior morale and discipline. Use your war score to score the majority of your claims over Belarus, and give your Viking friend some clay to keep them at bay. For better roleplay, I'd recommend taking zealous administrators as a reform to catalyze the cultural conversion of Eastern Europe. For ideas, I opted for divine in the military tree and religious in the admin tree, but again, this is for fun and for cultural conversion crusader flavor. We still have claims over Poland and Lithuania, so when you're ready, mobilize your military and say dzień dobry to our Polish prey. The second war with Poland will be much easier than the first, but you might want to call in allies just to be safe. If you're lucky like me, Lithuania will have such a high liberty desire they won't fight outside of their territory. Simply ride into Warsaw, push for peace, and take contiguous counties to clean up your border gore. What's more, this weakening of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth will often set up a chain reaction that puts them under foreign occupation. Back in our nation, we can now integrate the Teutonic Order, and once we reach Admin Tech 8, we will construct a courthouse in Riga, hire an advisor of every type, and increase the loyalty of our estates to complete the mission, strengthen our authority. This mission is the last prerequisite before we can secularize our order and form the nation of Livonia, but we'll have to wait until the Protestant Reformation before proceeding any further. From here, I recommend granting the religious cultural privilege to the clergy, which will facilitate both faith and cultural conversions. To make conversions even faster, consider opting for Defender of Faith if you have the PayPal profit and want to stay Catholic. Good targets for expansion now include the rest of Denmark, vassalizing smaller countries with pre-existing cores, and feeding the rest to Holstein. A consistent cycle of feeding and diplomatically annexing vassals will allow you to procure the Pomeranian coastline so that you can craft a contiguous coastline. Other good choices are rushing B into Muscovy, and with your superior morale missions and modifiers, you can easily annihilate their armies despite being heavily outnumbered. Take Tver, Moscow, and anything else you want, integrate Denmark, and keep an eye on the PayPal guy. By the early 1500s, we can almost form Livonia, but we'll need to wait for Martin Luther. The Protestant Reformation cannot fire without Catholic reform desire, so while you wait, stabilize your nation and diplomatically annex your vassal subjects. With my wait, I opted to castrate Poland and pilfer them of provinces and pierogi, Procuring Polski. Luther will finish his thesis around 1510 or 1520, which will spawn Protestantism and at last allow you to form the Livonian state. In our mission tree, we can now secularize the order, which will offer you the choice of staying as a crusader state or reforming into Livonia. For the purposes of this guide, we will reform into Livonia, which will transform our monastic order into a monarchy, grant us exceptionally powerful national ideas, and allow us to reselect all of our government reforms. It's the debut of our Prussian Blue worldview, but to truly customize our post-Crusader country, we'll need to wait for the admin mana needed to continue our mission tree. With 400 admin free, we can now reform the government, which, after unlocked, will fire 6 unique events that allow you to craft your government type in extreme detail. These events appear roughly once per year, grant bonuses and penalties, and directly contribute to the unique government you receive after completing this mission tree. But the final event never fired for me, but theoretically, you'll be able to obtain one of 9 unique government forms, like a merchant republic, mercenary state, constitutional monarchy, or even an empire with 15% core cost reduction. Congratulations, if you follow this guide, you're now the most powerful polity in Northern Europe, and from here can easily obtain the almost Prussian Blue achievement if you go on to core the entirety of North Germany, or you can outright form Germany if you take on the HRE. Alternatively, you can go on a diet, give away all but 4 cities, and form the nation of Kurland. Both Livonia and Kurland specialize in colonization, with fully fledged colonial mission trees, so consider these for mid-game expansion. To go beyond and see a more detailed view, it's time to overview our new nation as it existed on the day of its formation. At the dawn of the 16th century, Livonia is the Lion of the North and the undisputed superpower of both Scandinavia and the Baltic. Her sovereign borders extend from Schleswig in the west to Moscow in the east, and when you include her vassal subjects, include Norwegian Canada, Iceland, and all of Norway. The Protestant faith is for now contained in Mecklenburg, and in terms of faith, our fiefdom is 100% Catholic, while in terms of culture, our reduced cultural cost modifiers have led to a blob of Baltic Baltin Germans throughout the plurality of our polity. In fact, Baltendeutsch is the largest German ethnicity within this timeline, and our once extinct culture is now present across the continent. In terms of military, our monarchy has the 4th largest army, the 3rd largest navy, and is the 5th greatest world power. The Livonian capital of Riga is the 5th most developed province in the entire world, and well ahead of London, and our economy is swimming in buckets of ducats. Our nation controls the plurality of the Baltic and Novgorod trade nodes, collects in Lubeck, and makes over 15 ducats of profit every month. Last but certainly not least, our national ideas are the new divine idea set for military and religious idea set for admin. These picks are largely due to roleplay, and are certainly not power picks or meta, but I particularly enjoy them for their flavor and cultural conversion cost reductions to bring our Baltendeutsch boys back to town. Before ending the video, you know the drill. I'm thrilled you watched this far and supported my AI algorithm. It's been a while since we played EU4, so if you want more, let me know by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and claiming a comment in the box below. If there's enough interest, maybe a few thousand likes, I'll return to EU4 for new content with the new update, which has been an absolute blast to play. This video was made in partnership with Paradox Interactive, and you should check out the Lions of the North DLC in the description and pinned comment below. But if you'd like to boost relations even more, consider donating to our Patreon, or donating basic attention tokens to AlzaboHD through the Brave browser. Das ist gut und vielen Dank für Ihren Zeitraum, and it's time to roll the credits.